let's talk about Hell. In the Fool's Journey through the Major Arcana, cards 15, 16, and 17 are the Devil, the Tower, and the Star. This is the Summit arc. The Devil represents temptation, bondage, and the lie that suffering is deserved. The chains you accept because you're told they're natural. Before the descent even begins, the Devil appears, not as a monster, but as desire. A snake princess whose beauty turns those who lust after her into stone. Her power is not violence, it is temptation. And Luffy is completely unaffected. Not because he's virtuous, but because temptation doesn't work on him. Her shrouded past, her curse, her isolation, all reflections of the Devil's true domain. Shame, secrecy, and imposed identity. The Devil fails to bind Luffy here. Luffy instead tempted by the rescue of his brother Ace, so the path opens downward. The Tower comes next, and the Tower is not chaos. In Dante's Inferno, hell is not random suffering, it is organized punishment. Layered circles. Escalating consequences. Each level justified by law, morality, and authority. Hell is a system. The Tower is that system made vertical. A structure built to enforce the Devil's lie. Absolute, bureaucratic, unquestioned. A prison designed like hell itself. Layered torment, cold below, fire above, beasts, blades, and despair assigned by rank. A monument to the belief that order can be enforced through pain. Inside the Tower waits Ace, living proof that the system is false. And once truth enters the Tower, collapse becomes inevitable. Lightning sparks, the prison erupts inward, bodies fall, certainty shatters. The Summit arc is not a war, it is the collapse of a worldview. The world does not change slowly here, it breaks. But the Fool's Journey does not end in ruin. Within Hell in the deepest abyss, between levels 5 and 6, there is a space the Tower refuses to acknowledge. Level 5-5. Hidden, unmapped, officially non-existent. A kingdom carved out by those the system erase, deemed to have been demoned away. And here, myth layers on myth. Matthew 5:5 reads, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." A verse about the powerless inheriting everything. Mirrored by a level-turned community where the rejected survive together beneath hell itself. And here is the Star. The Star is not triumph, it is care after devastation. Hope that survives where authority gave up. A sanctuary in hell, a burlesque stage underground, joy as resistance. Ivankov stands not as a conqueror, but as a beacon, the lineage of defiant light that stretches beyond this story. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. David Bowie's alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. Gender as performance. Identity as power. Camp not as parody, but as survival. These figures emerge after catastrophe and not before. They shine because the world tried to crush them. And history mirrors this pattern. After Stonewall, after violence, after erasure, queer communities didn't ask permission to exist. And it's important to remember why. Because misinformation was deadly, venomous. People were told that AIDS was the devil's punishment for so-called degeneracy, that suffering was deserved, that neglect was moral, poison framed as judgment. The same lie told with a different language.
You are going to suffer. You degenerates seem to have forgotten your place. Let me remind you who the boss is around here.
They built sanctuaries, they cared for one another when institutions shrugged. They survived through joy, spectacle, and chosen family. The Star always appears after the Tower falls. Luffy understands this instinctively. When Bon Clay tells Luffy that Ivankov is the Queen of Queens, he doesn't question it. He doesn't hesitate. Sounds like an important guy. I want to meet him. No preconceived notion, no ideology, no fear, just recognition of importance. The Fool recognizes the Star. This is why the Summit arc hits so hard, because it's not just about loss, it's about the lie of the Devil being exposed, and the Tower collapsing under its own weight, and the light that was always there finally becoming visible. Hell was never the end of the journey. It was the proving ground. And this is where the Fool's Journey leaves us for now. The Devil exposed, the tower collapsed, and the star revealed, not above the world, but hidden inside it. In the first video, we talked about the structure beneath this story, the idea that One Piece isn't just inspired by myth, but organized by it. Impel Down is where that structure becomes impossible to ignore. Because this arc isn't about victory, it's about what survives when systems fail. The Fool doesn't conquer hell, he passes through it and comes out changed. That's important, because in the Major Arcana, the star is not the end. It's the moment after devastation where hope becomes possible, but fragile. Ahead lie cards like the Moon, where illusion and fear take hold, Judgment, where truth can no longer be ignored, and eventually the World. There's still myths to unpack, histories to examine, and symbols hiding in plain sight. If Impel Down is hell, then what does the world look like after you've seen its foundations crack? Well, that's where we're going next. If you're interested in exploring how mythology, the arcana, history, and symbolism continue to weave through this story, from hidden sanctuaries to false gods, from liberation to reckoning, then you're in the right place. Thank you for walking through hell with me, like and subscribe, and we'll continue this journey soon. Thanks again.
Oh, come my way, straw boy!